Pavillon canadien français ici à Folklorama. Good evening and welcome to the 20th Pavillon canadien français here at Folklorama. Je m'appelle Ian Kirk, my name is Ian Kirk, one of the ambassadors for the Pavilion this year. Et ça me donne un grand plaisir à vous présenter un de nos jeunes ambassadeurs, time for a new tongue, Nathalie Abbé. Every once in a while, my tongue covers up my eye tooth and I can't see what I'm saying. As this is our 20th pavilion here at Folklorama, we thought it would be interesting if we could get you a little bit more involved with our culture. And so you've all heard of the expression la joie de vivre, the joy of living. Something that's associated with French-Canadian people, and it's something that they have rather naturally. It's something they're born with. And we thought, wouldn't it be kind of interesting if we could find different ways and means for all of you to be able to embrace that same spirit. So we came up with a list of 20 different ways that a person can catch la joie de vivre. And you'll get a chance to see those on the way out this evening. And Nathalie and I are going to demonstrate one of these for you, and it's the traditional French-Canadian greeting. And this works exceptionally well with people that you know.
Oh, but it can get you into a lot of trouble with people you don't.
Micheline.
Bonsoir, mesdames et messieurs. Je suis ici. Ah, they found me. Je m'appelle Micheline Lamontagne et je suis ambassadrice ici au Pavillon canadien français. If you're not quite brave enough to walk up to a total stranger and plant them one on each cheek, well, you could do something a little safer, just by wishing them un bonsoir. And that's just what I'm going to do this evening, because we have a special guest with us. Because it is our 20th anniversary, we have invited past ambassadors and past coordinators to come and visit our pavilion again. We also are tonight welcoming a member of the Folk Arts Council, the past president, and he just happens to be a past coordinator. He was coordinator in 86 and 87, and his name is Gabriel Dufault. Bonsoir. We also have an entire busload of people from Thief River Falls here this evening. There they are. Bonsoir et bienvenue au Pavillon canadien français. I'd like to introduce to you one other person. His name is Joël Charrière. C'est notre jeune ambassadeur. Et il va vous parler du bar.
Une autre manière de célébrer notre 20e anniversaire est de prendre un petit coup de caribou. The caribou, in case you don't know, is a fortified wine. We also have some du bleuet and a different variety of beers from Quebec. Pour ceux qui veulent quelque chose un peu plus sucré, nous avons le café à l'érable. Maple coffee will satisfy any sweet tooth. If you have any questions about the bar, just run up there and ask Claude. Puisque tu ne peux pas boire sans manger, Nathalie, qu'est-ce qu'il y a au menu?
Bien, Joël, on a de très bonnes choses au menu ce soir. My favorites are sugar pie and maple fudge. At this pavilion, there are no rules, and you can't start with dessert. Mais pour ceux qui ont un peu plus faim, vous pouvez goûter à nos tourtières ou à nos boulettes. Bon appétit!
Merci Nathalie. Le spectacle que vous allez voir ce soir est commandité par la Fédération des caisses populaires du Manitoba et est présenté par l'ensemble folklorique de la Rivière-Rouge. Our folk ensemble has the joy of saying that we have celebrated 50 years as a group. We've gone through a couple of name changes since then, but we are still performing and doing French-Canadian song and dance in honor of our 50th anniversary. On a fait publier un livre. This is called Vive la Compagnie, which tracks the entire history of les Guy Manitobains, les danseurs de la Rivière-Rouge, and l'ensemble folklorique de la Rivière-Rouge. So if you hear about any of those three groups, you're talking about the people who are going to be on stage tonight. A show such as you are going to see does not get put together in a short period of time. A lot of people have been working long and hard, and I'd just like to introduce to you two of the people who worked probably the longest at it. Our artistic director's name is Jean-Paul Cloutier. He'll be the tallest dancer you're going to see on stage in a few minutes. And our musical director s'appelle Claude de Moissac, and he's sitting behind the piano up there. Oh, you heard the train whistle? Vous allez m'excuser. Le spectacle va commencer and I have a train to catch. Le train de Folklorama vient de s'arrêter à la gare Riel, symbole du trajet et de l'évolution des gens venus ici d'autres pays.
C'était des gens qui travaillaient beaucoup, mais qui savaient s'amuser aussi.
Les chansons, les musiques et les danses de leur culture sont restées avec nous. Et on voit encore certaines influences françaises, anglaises, irlandaises et écossaises dans nos traditions.
We've just arrived at the Riel station here on the Folklorama Express, and we find ourselves at the Pavillon canadien français.
This is where we'll see and hear traditional songs and dances representing the different nationalities as they arrived in the New World.
A Scottish reel, an Irish jig, a French minuet, an English clog. All of these are influences still felt in our French-Canadian heritage. La mosaïque culturelle du Canada français de nos jours est devenue très diversifiée et nous y ajoutons notre contribution.
Le spectacle continue avec une chanson qui évoque la dure réalité du passé de l'Acadie.
Ensuite, nous proposons un rassemblement chaleureux où tout le monde peut s'amuser
Et où certains seront invités à devenir musiciens ou danseurs avec nous. From Acadia to the Pacific Coast, there are many French-Canadian communities you can visit.
Here in the West, we like to think that we are an integral part of Canada's cultural diversity.
We invite you to share in our celebration of tradition as we perform songs and dances from our past,
as well as original songs and dances that we hope will reflect the importance of our heritage in times to come.
J'étais fille du vent et d'Acadie, j'avions vécu célèbre déjà 50 ans et qui est dans son 20e pavillon canadien français. When you've got a group that has celebrated a 50th anniversary and a 20 years of being in Folklorama, we're not talking spring chickens up here anymore, are we? Well, we thought that it would be time for some new recruits, so we called upon you in the audience, and 2 of you answered that call to come up here and become dancers with us. We have Rick Lofson and Sarah Lofson. S'il vous plaît, accueillez-les. While they're finding a partner, I have none other than Alain Rondorf here from Minnesota to be our guest spoon player. And while he's finding a spot to sit down here, Ian, c'est à toi de faire la danse?
Merci beaucoup.
Okay.
So what we're going to do is we're going to get these people just a little bit more involved in our culture. We're going to put them through their paces with a very traditional French-Canadian dance, all done with walking steps, of course. And it's going to start off by something we call la refoulade, and that very simply means that you're going to walk towards the center and then back out again. So let's try this. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, kill. One more time. 1, 2, 3, 4, kill. Stop right there. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to let the ladies work by themselves, and what they're going to do is go into the center and back out again, just as they just did. And the gentlemen are going to stand in the spot and clap hands. So the ladies only. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, kill. Now the gentlemen do the same thing. 1, 2, 3, 4, kill. Stop right there. Face your partner. Face à face with your partner. Next thing you're going to do is called a swing. French Canadian people, when they're dancing, they are swingers. They swing with their partners. And we're going to leave this as a bit of a surprise to you. We're not even going to try it at the moment. We're going to pretend it's already done. And after having done that, the next thing you're going to do is called promenade, and that very simply means to walk. And at the end of this, we'll add something a little bit special to it. Let's give it a try. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Turn the lady and face the center. Exactly, just like that. That's perfect. You're going to end up doing this whole thing twice. And at the end of the second time, you'll find yourself facing your partner with the gentleman on the inside and the ladies on the outside. Now, it's very important at this point that the gentleman remembers to start this next part with his left foot. And your left foot is the one that has the big toe on the right side. Yes. And you're going to do something called talon point. And talon point very simply means heel toe. So it's going to be talon, point, and slide. 2, 3, other foot. Talon, point, and slide. 2, 3, 4. Excellent. Next part's a little bit trickier because it's a series of hand claps that follow a very specific rhythmical pattern. And I'll let you hear what it sounds like. It sounds like this. Frappe main droite, puis frappe main gauche, puis frappe les deux, puis frappe les cuisses. Now, in case you didn't quite hear or understand that, I should say, it's clap right, clap left, clap both, clap your thighs. No, sir, your thighs. After having done all of that, the next thing you're going to do is called a crochet. You're going to hook your right arm together with your partner's right arm, go one time around them, and the gentlemen leave their partner and go to the next person. French Canadian people, when they're dancing, they switch partners a lot, and that accomplishes 2 different things. First of all, you get a chance to meet people that you didn't necessarily know before. And secondly, you're not stuck dancing with the same klutz all night long. So I'm going to ask you to go back to your original partners. While
they're doing that, I just want to explain something here. I kind of made him an honorary French Canadian. His name is not Alain, it's Alvin. So he can be our French, he'll be Alain while he's on the stage here. But when he goes back, if you want to talk to him, you can't go back to his other name, Alvin.
One stage name like that.
That's right.
Cher, Madonna.
Alain.
Alain.
Perfect. So what we were doing is we were learning how to play spoons. See, French Canadians were not very rich people, and see, we used to invite people over to our houses in order to have a party, and we used to invite those musicians over there, the ones with the real instruments, and then everyone else used to go rummaging through the kitchen to see what they could find, and often they would come up with a pair of spoons so that they can play along. Now, did anybody happen to bring a pair of spoons this evening?
They didn't read the program.
Guess not. Okay, how about 2 hands and a leg? You got that? Oh, you didn't bring that either. That could make things interesting. Well, for those of you who did come prepared, we'll use this leg over here, this hand up here, and then we'll put this one kind of in the middle. Wait, can you count with me? Oh, it's just about there. I think we should try that again. Ah, ça c'est très très bien. Wait, remember, confidence. You can do this. No university degree required to play spoons. Okay, so on commence. Sur la jambe, c'est 1. Sur la main, 2. Sur la jambe, 3. This is a pattern. You repeat the pattern over and over and over again. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Always start on your leg. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Just as Alain is doing right there. See? He's got this down pat. Follow his lead. You will do fine. Nous, on est prêts?
And we're almost ready. I'm just gonna give you one other little hint that should help you out while you're dancing à la canadienne française. Something interesting about the French-Canadian culture, I suppose. It's if you very, very discreetly take a look behind your partner, very discreetly. That's right. Yeah. Take a look, but no, don't look at her behind. Look behind her. You're going to notice that the apron string that she's wearing is either tied into a knot or into a bow, and that tells you a lot about that person. If it's tied into a knot, it means that that person is already taken. They are married. And if it's tied into a bow, it means that they are available. And according to your wife, none of them are available tonight, so don't look too hard. And on that note, here we go. Puis tous au centre et en criant. Encore une fois, un peu plus fort. Ladies only, les dames. Now the gentlemen, les messieurs. Tout le monde balance, puis tout le monde danse, puis tout le monde danse, puis tout le monde swing. Break that swing, promenez, promenez-vous de par deux, c'est ça. Turn the lady and face the center. Here we go. 1, 2. Plus fort. One more time. Les dames seulement, the ladies. Et les messieurs, the gentlemen. Swing la baguette dans la fond de votre bord. Pas trop haut, puis pas trop bas. Assez swingé, promenez-vous, promenade. Bravo, c'est beau. Turn the lady and face her. Talon point, and slide. Other foot, talon, slide. Here come the hands. Frappe main droite, puis frappe main gauche, puis frappe les deux, puis frappe les cuisses, un petit crochet, tout contre-échange de partenaire. Talon, glisse. Encore talon. Les mains, the hands. Frappe main droite, puis frappe main gauche, puis frappe les deux, puis frappe les cuisses, un petit crochet, un tour complet. Again, talon. Other foot. Bravo. Right, left, both, and your thighs. Bravo, c'est ça. Here we go. Talon. This way. Other foot. You're doing good. This family has rhythm. Yes. Saluez votre partenaire. A little bow to your partner. Merci beaucoup tout le monde. Bravo.
Une bonne main d'applaudissements pour nos artistes ce soir, Sarah and Rick. Merci beaucoup. Une émission for them. And for our spoon player extraordinaire, Alain, also known as Alvin. Thank you very much. They did a pretty good job, didn't they? Boy, we know where to get our recruits. We've got their names, addresses, and phone numbers here. Years to come, we are ready for maybe a 75th anniversary. We'll get you back. Okay, just un petit à côté. If ever you've got a full house on a Sunday afternoon and you really want to get rid of these people, though you love them dearly, pull out a pair of spoons, put on some music, start to play. For anybody who's not the actual player of the spoons, it's a very interesting sound, and I bet that they leave your house and leave you all to yourself for a better part of the afternoon. So it works in a lot of good ways. Mais le spectacle continue avec la gigue acadienne.
show. And so the question was asked, how do you tell if French-Canadian men are taken or available? Not to worry, French-Canadian men are always available. So just before you leave us this evening, I have one little announcement to make. There's a red Chevette in the parking lot with the license plate number AXN759. I don't know how long your lights have been on, but if it's for the whole show, you can call a taxi from over there. We're going to be asking you momentarily to leave from the other end of the hall. On va vous demander de sortir par en arrière. En sortant, vous allez voir notre salle d'exposition. On the way out, you're going to see our exhibit area. A lot of people have worked really hard to put that together. Si vous avez la chance, va visiter ça, s'il vous plaît.
But just before you go, we have our people from Thief River Falls who are here. Merci beaucoup d'avoir choisi notre pavillon. But just before, can we let them leave first? Because their bus is blocking your car anyway.
On behalf of Micheline, Nathalie, Joël, myself, and all of l'ensemble folklorique Clavier Rouge, thank you for visiting our pavilion this week at Folklorama. Merci beaucoup tout le monde. Bonsoir. Good evening and welcome to the 20th Pavillon Canadien Français here at Folklorama. My name is Ian Kirk, je suis Ian Kirk, and I'm one of the ambassadors for this pavilion. This is our last show of Folklorama for this year. A long week that has gone by and we've done numerous shows. And so if you happen to see things on stage that you might think would be a little bit out of the normal, they aren't. Not for this particular show, anyhow. And so you know that I'm one of the ambassadors, puis ça me donne grand plaisir de vous présenter une de nos jeunes ambassadeurs, Nathalie Arbé. So what we have here is quality and not quantity in our audience. Perhaps a few less people than normal, so we expect all of you to make the same kind of noise as though the hall were full to the rafters of people. Now, as this is our 20th pavilion, we thought it would be interesting if we could involve you a little bit more in our culture. So all of you have heard the expression la joie de vivre, the joy of living, and that's something attributed to the French-Canadian people, and it's something that they are born with, and it's something that they simply do all the time. And we thought, wouldn't it be interesting if we could get yourselves involved in that same kind of joie de vivre, that same spirit? And so we came up with a list of 20 different ways that a person could catch la joie de vivre. And Nathalie and I are going to demonstrate one of these for you now. And that is to greet somebody in the traditional French-Canadian fashion, which is this.
Go, Tom!
Now this works exceptionally well with people that you know.
Ooh, and it's going to get you into a lot of trouble with people you don't.
Micheline.
Bonsoir, mesdames et messieurs. Je m'appelle Micheline Lamontagne et je suis ambassadrice ici au Pavillon Canadien Français. If you're not quite brave enough to go up to a total stranger and plant them one on each cheek, well, you can always just do something a little safer and just offer them a bonsoir. And since we don't have a bus tour here this evening, and we only have Kelly sitting here at the VIP table, I thought you might want to introduce yourselves or say bonsoir to the person sitting across from you at your table. Bonsoir. So, j'ai juste une personne à vous présenter, c'est l'autre jeune ambassadeur. Il s'appelle Joël Charrière. Il va vous parler du bar.
Une autre manière de célébrer notre 20e anniversaire est de faire un petit goût des caribous. The caribou case was a fortified wine. We also have some Toulouet and a different variety of beers. Pour ceux qui veulent quelque chose un peu plus sucré, nous avons un café à l'érable. Maple coffee will satisfy any sweet tooth. If you have any questions about the bar, just run out there and ask Claude. And please continue to follow us on the street. Nathalie, qu'est-ce qu'il y a au menu?
Bien, Joël, on a une très grande variété de nourriture. My favorites are sugar pie and maple fudge. At this pavilion, there are no rules, and you can start with dessert. Mais pour ceux qui ont un peu plus faim, vous pouvez goûter à notre tartare ou à nos boulettes. Bon appétit!
Now, as you can imagine, this whole thing does not come together overnight, and it certainly doesn't come together without the help of a lot of very, very important people known as volunteers. And at this pavilion, over the last 20 years, pendant les 20 dernières années, notre pavillon est toujours connu comme une des pavillons avec les meilleurs bénévoles, always have had wonderful volunteers. And we have a young man who has gone out and gotten some prizes for our volunteers, and we have a little draw so that we can give them these prizes. And I'm going to ask our coordinator, François Tremblay, to come out and read the list. And just before I hand François the microphone, I'm also going to take this opportunity on behalf of Micheline, Nathalie, Joanne, and myself. On aimerait vous remercier pour votre travail ici au pavillon. Ça a été fantastique. C'était très facile pour nous autres. Merci, Kelly.
Merci beaucoup. C'est surtout grâce aux artistes, à tous les bénévoles et à tous les artisans qui ont participé au pavillon pendant 20 ans. Alors, grande salutation à tous ceux qui nous ont encouragés pendant 20 ans. Alors, merci à vous. Alors, voici les gagnants pour le dernier soir. Alors, Tune Up chez Desgagnés Motors, Joanne Noël. Une tasse du Cercle Molière et un laissez-passer au Sportex, Estelle Soulaude. Un livre offert par la boutique du livre et un laissez-passer au Sportex, Maurice Noël. Un bon d'achat à la Vieille Gare, le restaurant La Vieille Gare, et un laissez-passer au Sportex, Dean Hébert. Un bon d'achat pour le Red Lantern, le restaurant Red Lantern, et un laissez-passer au Sportex, Lise Desauniers. Un t-shirt offert par le Festival du Voyageur et un laissez-passer au Sportex, Stéphanie Leclerc. Un t-shirt du 50e offert par Raymond Desrochers, Janine Sorin. Un t-shirt offert par l'Association des étudiants du CUSB et un laissez-passer au Sportex, Marie Cloutier. Un laissez-passer d'1 mois au Sportex, Claude de Moissac. Et finalement, vitrine offerte par Brunet Monument, Ian Kirk.
We have very enthusiastic volunteers too, can you hear that? On dirait pas qu'ils ont travaillé déjà une grosse semaine. Bien, le spectacle que vous allez voir ce soir est commandité par la Fédération des caisses populaires du Manitoba et est présenté par l'ensemble folklorique de la Rivière-Rouge. Our folk ensemble can say that we have celebrated a 50th anniversary last year, and we started off life as les Gays Manitobains, then became les Danseurs de la Rivière-Rouge, and when we added our orchestra, ended up with l'ensemble folklorique de la Rivière-Rouge. We wrote a book telling you the entire story of l'ensemble folklorique. And even though it is all in French, you can check the index under L for La Montagne. And on pages 155, 157, 171, 177, 181, 184, 189, and 197, you will see a bunch of really, really good pictures. Alors, si vous ne comprenez pas la langue, les photos sont sûrement très bien regardées. Bien, un spectacle comme celui-ci ne se prépare pas tout seul. And there's someone backstage that I think ought to present himself mid-stage right about now. He's our artistic director. A big round of applause pour Jean-Paul Cloutier, s'il vous plaît. Dans le milieu, s'il vous plaît. Ça fait 20 ans que Jean-Paul Cloutier est sur cette estrade-là. For 20 years, Jean-Paul has spent one glorious week in August on this stage. Now, chose parce que c'est pas tout le monde qui a ce titre-là. Alors, gracieuseté de tout le monde, voici une carte et quelque chose pour tes plantes, ça a l'air, hein? Yeah? Et puis l'enveloppe dit de quoi, il me semble? Therapeutic massage? 20 years with these people, you need a therapeutic massage. Merci beaucoup, Jean-Paul. On apprécie beaucoup ce que tu fais. Bien que ça fait pas encore 20 ans qu'il est ici, on a un autre directeur, le directeur musical. Il s'appelle Claude de Mossac et il est assis derrière le piano là-bas. Vous allez m'excuser parce que pour la dernière fois cette semaine, for the last time this week, I have a train to catch. voyageait et de l'évolution des gens venus s'établir ici des vieux pays.
C'était des gens qui ont beaucoup travaillé, mais qui savaient s'amuser aussi.
Les chansons, les musiques et les danses de leur culture sont restés avec nous et on voit encore certaines influences françaises, anglaises, écossaises et irlandaises dans nos traditions.
We've just arrived at the Riel station here on the Folklorama Express, and we find ourselves at the Pavillon canadien français.
This is where we'll see and hear traditional songs and dances representing the different nationalities as they arrived in the New World.
A Scottish reel, an Irish jig, a French minuet, an English clog. All of these are influences still felt in our French-Canadian heritage.
La
La mosaïque culturelle du Canada français est très diversifiée et nous y ajoutons notre contribution.
Le spectacle continue avec une chanson qui évoque la dure réalité du passé de l'Église.
Ensuite, nous proposons un rassemblement chaleureux où tout le monde peut s'amuser.
Et où certains seront invités à devenir musiciens ou danseurs avec nous. From Acadia to the Pacific Coast, there are many French-Canadian communities you can visit.
Here in the West, we like to think that we are an integral part of Canada's cultural diversity.
We invite you to share in our celebration of tradition as we perform songs and dances of our past.
As well as original songs and dances that we hope will reflect the importance of our heritage in times to come.
for the last week we've been inviting people up from the audience to come and see what it is like to be a dancer or a musician. But we came to the realization that the dancers know what it is to be a dancer and the musicians know what it is to be a musician. But neither knows the other's world. Alors, on a pensé peut-être que c'est le temps que les danseurs apprennent à connaître ce que font les musiciens et que les musiciens apprennent ce que font les danseurs. Alors,
Très bonne idée, ça.
oui, j'ai pensé que c'était pas mal excellent. Alors, j'aimerais que Marcel Serin vienne me voir, s'il vous plaît. Et Claude de Marcel vienne me voir. Alors, Marcel, tu vas aller prendre la place de Claude. Claude, viens prendre la place de Marcel. OK, je veux que Guy Noël vienne me voir, s'il vous plaît. Et je veux que Donald vienne me voir, s'il vous plaît. Donald va prendre la place de Guy. Guy, je veux que tu prennes la place de Donald, mais, tiens Guy, je t'ai apporté un petit cadeau. Don, j'ai peut-être besoin de ton expérience encore 2 minutes, là.
Ouais, c'est ça.
Quick accordion lesson, oui. OK, Joël, tu prends la caisse. OK, je veux que Rosanne vienne me voir, s'il vous plaît. Oh, oh, oh. Rosanne, je veux que tu ailles voir Alice, puis que tu prennes la place à Alice. Mais Rosanne, regarde, j'ai quelque chose ici pour toi. OK, il y a un violon là-dedans, il y a un archet, tu t'assois à la place à Alice. Guy va t'asseoir à la place à Donald, s'il vous plaît. We're going for the whole picture. Suzanne, elle pensait qu'elle allait pas être là-dedans, elle non plus, puis Colette. Colette, tiens, je te donne une paire d'os. Do what you will. Tu vas t'asseoir à la place. OK?
Malheureusement, Colette, un djembé, c'est juste pas dans notre répertoire.
Voilà, mais je vois un tout petit problème. Oh non, vous avez réglé ce problème-là. Parfait. OK? Mais j'ai une autre personne à faire venir sur scène maintenant. Alice, as-tu ton personnel?
How do you sound?
Oh,
Huh? How do you sound this one?
OK. François Tremblay, où c'est que t'es rendu, toi? Monsieur le sénateur.
Vite, 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 François.
Oui, mais François, c'est à toi d'être percussionniste ce soir. Puis avec la gang qu'on a, we need all the help we can get. I'm here to keep the whole thing together. Hey, il y a des privilèges à être ambassadeur. You can wreak havoc on other people's lives. Viens ici, François. Robert, je t'écoute pas parce que je sais que tu vas me dire quelque chose que je veux pas entendre. Voilà. Bon, pendant que je donne des cues à mes musiciens,
Oui.
je te laisse avec cette gang-là.
So, j'ai juste une petite question. Claude, is L a musical key? Because you know when all is said and done, this is going to sound like L. Yeah. Anyways, we thought we would put these musicians through some of our paces because they have such complete control in our lives usually. And so we're going to do a very simple French-Canadian dance that they're going to participate in. Starts off with something we call la refoulade, very simply meaning that they're going to go towards the center and back out again. So let's try this. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, kill, 2, encore une autre fois. 1, 2, 3, 4, kill. Stop right there. We're now going to let the ladies work all by themselves. The ladies are going to go in for 4 and out for 4, and as they do that, the gentlemen are going to stand on the spot, clap their hands, and watch them. Here you go, ladies. 1, 2, 3, 4, kill. Gentlemen, do the same thing. 1, 2, 3, 4, kill. Stop right there. Next thing you're going to do is called a swing. French-Canadian people, when they dance, they are swingers, which is to say they swing with their partner. And we're going to pretend you've already done that, and it has worked marvelously. And the next thing you will do, because these people also have psychic powers here, they've anticipated. You're going to be doing a promenade, so you're going to be walking this way, and we'll add something, a little something to this at the end. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Turn the lady, face the center. Here we go. All right. We're going to do this twice, and at the end of the second time, you will find yourself facing your partner, the gentleman on the inside, the ladies on the outside. It is a very important thing at this point in time for the gentlemen to make sure that they find their left foot. They're going to start with their left foot. Claude, that's the one that has the big toe on the right side. There we go. And you're going to be doing something called talon point, which means heel toe. So it's going to be talon, point, and slide. 2. Other foot, talon, point, qui glisse. 2, 3, arrête. Next thing you're going to do is a series of hand claps in a very specific rhythmical pattern, sounding like this. Frappe main droite, puis frappe main gauche, puis frappe les deux, puis frappe les cuisses. Now, in case you didn't understand that, that means clap right, clap left, clap both, clap your thighs. Suzanne, your thighs. Please. Give the musician a chance, you know. And then you're going to do what's known as a crochet. You hook your right arm together with your partner's right arm, go all the way around them. The gentlemen actually leave their partner and move on to the next person. French Canadian people, when they dance, they switch partners a lot, and that accomplishes 2 different things. First of all, they get to meet people they didn't necessarily know before. Secondly, you're not stuck dancing with the same klutz all night long. So please go back to your original partner.
And while they're doing that, are there some of you here who still don't know how to play spoons? Parce que ça fait toute la semaine que j'enseigne. Je suis certaine qu'il y a des figures ici que j'ai déjà vues. I'm sure I've seen at least 1 or 2 of you a couple of times before this week. So you can teach me. Well, maybe not. On va faire une main en haut, la jambe, okay? Do some of those. Puis, mets l'autre main au milieu. Can you count with me? 1. Bravo! C'est ce qu'on va faire. 1 sur la jambe, 2 sur la main, 3 sur la jambe. Et on recommence. It's a pattern. Patterns repeat. Very, very nice. I hear spoons. There's always a few in the crowd who come very, very well prepared. Okay, on commence. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Sounds excellent. La bande, vous êtes prêts? OK. François, c'est très, très bien, ça, by the way. Suivez François, you'll be in good hands. What do you think?
Just before we have our band do their rendition of this tune, one more little hint for our dancers, because I understand that sometimes this can get a little bit hectic, a little bit quick. You have to think quick on your feet, and sometimes it is possible to get lost. So should you find yourself without a partner, do not worry, because in French Canadian folk dance, the center is called le, lost and found. So if you don't have a partner, don't worry, one will be patiently waiting for you there. Jump into the center, take that person by the hand, and very casually, without showing any signs of panic on your face, get back in the circle. Nobody will know that you messed up. Are the musicians ready? Here we go! Turn the partner
donner une minute pour reprendre toute leur stuff? We've been waiting years to do something like this. You've kind of noticed that the last show has a couple of surprises in it. It is tradition in the theater that usually during a last performance, the technicians and the actors sometimes play very, very subtle jokes on each other. Well, we've taken it past the point of science to the point of goofing, I think. But you will be provided with a great show nonetheless. Et je pense qu'on est prêt à continuer avec la gigue acadienne.
What can I say? Quality, not quantity.
Helps that they've seen the show about 15 times.
Well, yeah, kind of. And on that particular note, there's a really good reason that the show looks the way it does and sounds the way it does. On aimerait remercier nos techniciens, le directeur technique du Centre culturel au console d'éclairage, Bernard Rondeau. Et puis, au console de son, one of the finest sound techs in the city, Claude Robert. I personally would like to thank Micheline, Joël et Nathalie pour une semaine fameuse. C'était très facile à travailler avec vous autres.
Moi, j'ai vraiment rien à dire. Je trouve que c'était en masse le fun. Puis, on attend avec impatience le mois de juillet l'année prochaine because Fukuoka moves because of the Pan American Games. So we will see you in July instead of August.
To all of you who have supported us over the years, especially at this particular pavilion, merci beaucoup. Bonsoir tout le monde.
Bonsoir.